Hello, Travis here, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. In the last episode, we made it to Fulgora, the trash planet. Though maybe the recycling planet is a more apt description. Because in today's episode, we're going to be delving into recycling. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit off. I'm like, I don't know if I'm feeling a bit under weather or it's just allergies, but I'm just a little bit miserable, but not enough to grow the factory. So, I think I kind of delved into the world of like scrap handling. Sorry. Last episode. But there is certainly automatic ways of handling scrap automation. We can start that with thanks to our big mining tours we got from Vulcanus. We can put miners on these scrap piles. Of course, this is going to be very temporary because ideally we want to set up a train collection system on islands such as these. But these patches, about the size of our tungsten patch, will last us. Oh, even they will still last us a while, even with the amount in the patches. All right. Oh, I forgot to disable that. I'll just hope we don't need to drop inserters down. So we have our scrap. As you can see, we do have a way of turning scrap into resources via this easy scrap recycling thing. But this is Factorio, not Handcraftorio. We gotta turn this into a, we have to automate this somehow, right? And somehow we can. Alright. So recycler. It's a bit expensive, but not for Fulgora standards. 20 steel plate, 40 iron gears, 6 press, 6 blue chips, and 20 concrete. Fortunately for us, we have a bunch of that. We're gonna craft ourselves some recyclers. And I don't have exact. This is not going to be a part of the final build, but I do want to get a starting resource because how's our lightning coverage? Not terrible. How's our power? Gotta keep ourselves in lightning service, especially since we do not want to use construction bots right now, since we don't have a way of rebuilding them for now. I am also terribly sorry if they sound awful. So the recycler. Recycler is an interesting building. Because you don't set a recipe with the scrap recycler. So what does it do? The recycler basically uncrafts stuff. The only thing, except for scrap, that's a kind of the sole exception. It breaks down. But if it's not recycling scrap, it's refunding 25% of the recycled items materials outputted in the output list shown on screen. It doesn't have a fluid output, so all fluid ingredients are avoided. Not that it really matters. But other items, you basically have a 75% loss rate with items being returned, the 25% being outputted in the various slots that right here, or being turned into spoilage. we're going to... I can't believe I forgot cliff explosives. That is a certified smooth brain moment. Alright, we still have a pretty good lightning coverage. Alright. As you can see, we now have a belt of literal garbage being fed out. However, this... Okay, that is a really quirky animation. I kinda like it. It has 12 internal slots for the 12, I believe, if I remember correctly, the... Yep, 12 slots for 12 scrap ingredients. Alright, what do I need? A concrete. Now there's a lot of stuff we can't do with it. Knowing how this recycler works, there is a lot of stuff we can't do with it. There's one thing we do need is belts. Let's make some conveyor belts with all this assortment of garbage we have on the belt. But how do we do that? We do not have iron plates. Yet. Wow. The recycler isn't nearly as cool as the Foundry. I'm going to admit, but it is hard beating the Foundry. After the fun I had in like what episode 42, I believe that's the episode that I went crazy with that. I have to admit that mechanical grindy. Oh man. This is like the most Factorio of buildings, I would say. I wish there was a overlay on the that shows the lightning coverage. Okay, I've heard other people play their Fulgora OSTs in the background. I have never heard this one, so alright. I'm gonna take the booster getting the concrete out of each machine. Oh, this song is cool. Again, a bit of a music nerd, so this stuff I jam to. Alright. We'll make 10 of these for now. Maybe making a lot of recycling. So, now that we have a belt of random stuff on the belt, some might notice there's a sushi belt. Sushi belts are a bit wild and can be a bit overwhelming. We're going to filter off the gears. Now, I believe... Now, we can uncraft scrap. We could also uncraft anything else. Don't want to do a fast, I'll do a fast inserter. Yeah, there's this. As you can see, we're putting iron gears in, and we get iron plates out. Because lo and behold, you can craft iron plates. You can craft gears from plates. This is the core concept of Fulgora. You're basically taking all this stuff and uncrafting it into the various things that you need. Quite cool if I ask you myself. Alright, power's doing alright. If I have to put a word on the music that I'm describing right now, it's the end music from Minecraft. Because the end has otherworldly, retro. Is that even the right word to call it? I'm gonna call it retro. Sorry if no one here cares about music theory or whatnot, but I just have to point that out because it's monkey brain neuron activation is going on right now. All right, we're not going to be doing a whole lot of foundries because we're not. I don't want to deal with importing calcite. I don't really need to. However, we are still going to be. I need to put gears on the belt. Perfect. I need to take solid field. This is where the challenge of Fulgora really comes into play. As you can see, the uneven recipe of scrap means that there will be be backlogging. However, we're gonna do that amount because why not? Yeah, we're gonna be using Foundry's exclusive for belt making because 50% base productivity. I'm going to be keeping and that's going to be a common theme for later because there will be yeah. What I'll probably do. I'm gonna do. What's the order? Solid fuel, concrete. Oh, I didn't want concrete. I wanted I may spend longer on Fulgora simply because of the way I want to tackle the challenge of Fulgora. But hey, who doesn't love more Factorio? Am I right? The next thing I probably want to make is accumulator. Yeah, accumulators. Which of course are a little bit alright, batteries, stone. I'm surprised stone is pretty low down on the list. You'd think that, but I guess stone is more of a Vulcanus garbage item than a Fulgoran one. So that copper cable comes as a intermediate by itself, and it's not overwhelming. What we're going to do is we're going to we're going to need to do. Yeah, this obviously isn't perfect. Wow, I can't get over how Fulgora's music is very varied. It's very technical now, but at the same time it has a oh. Travis, why didn't you notice that you need to flip your inserters around? Called I did an oopsie. Oopsie poopsie. Alright. So you can see this is kind of a starter of a thing. Are we better than our hand-fed chests down here? Not really. But at the very least, we can consistently make conveyor belts. And now that we are, of course, some stuff is slipping through, and I'll have to keep fixing that. But we kind of have a we can get an understand a ton of nice resources up. In fact, if I wanted to, I could just turn these into passive provider chests and have the bots make everything from here. But it is a solution. It's not the solution that I really want to do, though. It looks like we're getting less concrete, but concrete sec's 100, so. I said I wanted to make accumulators. Accumulators are batteries and iron plates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take our battery line. And make a... Where am I? Oh, I don't... They're probably in my hub still. Yep, there they are. And there we go. We want a lot of accumulators. There's just something so satisfying to this. We're making belts and accumulators from nothing but garbage. Well, recyclables. We have to. We have to. This is recycling, not trashing. Although there is, knowing that there are ways we can avoid. The way we can avoid stuff is through you know how recyclers output one direction? Well, we can put a recycler like this and output stuff into it, and it will recycle the item 25%. If it's the base item, it'll just destroy 75% of it and move it to the next recycler. Effectively, this is avoiding though I believe it deletes half of it takes twice as long to I think the recycling time is proportional to It's proportional to its resource cost. So we genuinely want to break stuff down before voiding it. Ah, this is the track that I'm familiar with from Fulgora playthroughs. I can demonstrate like that. Everything, it's all gone. I can do the same for stone. Yeah, so this is kind of the core gameplay loop of Fulgora. And with that, I think I'm going to call it here. It's really my exoskeletons were disabled this entire time. Yeah. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you have any comments or concerns, leave them down below. And if you want to see more Factorio Space Stage, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.